The 20 tallest female wrestlers in WWE history. Professional wrestling has long been a sport that features larger-than-life athletes. For years, commentators have often made a point to emphasize a performer's height. This is particularly true for extremely tall wrestlers. Heck, one would be hard-pressed to find one of Big Show's matches where a commentator doesn't mention the fact that he's 7 feet tall. However, for whatever reason, WWE doesn't seem to put as much emphasis on height when it comes to their female performers. This may leave fans wondering just who are the tallest ladies to ever set foot in a WWE ring. Here are the answers. 20. Maxine Dupree continues to improve inside the ring. Maxine Dupree stands at 5 feet 9 inches. Maxine Dupree was initially introduced to WWE fans as the sister of Max Dupree, and she took over duties as the leader of the Maximum Male Models. However, Dupree quietly distanced herself from Mace and Mansoor, and she is now alongside Alpha Academy's Chad Gable, Otis, and Tozawa. Dupree has started to wrestle inside the ring, and working alongside Gable, who is technically sound in the ring, she will improve. Nevertheless, Dupree is one of the tallest women on the roster as she stands at 5 feet 9 inches tall. 19. B-Fab has a renewed lease on life by joining the Pride. B-Fab stands at 5 feet 9 inches. Before their first release from WWE, Hit Row was a popular act on SmackDown. However, since they returned to WWE in August 2022, Hit Row has been treated as an afterthought. B-Fab is exceptional on the mic and stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. B-Fab looked directionless with Top Dollar getting released from WWE in 2023, but she has joined Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits faction. She's in safe hands under Lashley's guidance, and B-Fab will be hoping to push on and have some success as it feels like it's the final chance for B-Fab to prove her worth. 18. Indy Hartwell has put her injury problems behind her. Indy Hartwell stands at 5 feet 9 inches. Indy Hartwell moved to the main roster in the 2023 draft lottery when she was the reigning NXT Women's Champion. However, Hartwell was injured when she moved to the main roster, but she has put her injury problems behind her. She competed in her home country Australia, alongside Candice LeRae, but they were unable to beat the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship at Elimination Chamber 2024. Hartwell is still young at 27, and she is one of the tallest women on the current roster as she stands at 5 feet 9 inches tall. Despite being the former NXT Women's Champion, Hartwell isn't the finished article and there is room for improvement. 17. Tamina is currently inactive. Tamina stands at 5 feet 9 inches. Tamina has had many ups and downs throughout her WWE career, but she has lasted over a decade on the main roster. Tamina is one of the tallest women on the roster and utilizes her height to her advantage. Perseverance paid off as she won the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship with Natalya in 2021. She's also had a few reigns as 24/7's champion. Of course, Tamina would have liked to run with a major singles championship on the main roster, but she's had a career that she can be content with. Her current status in WWE is unknown, as she may have quietly retired in 2023, or she could be injured. 16. Izzy Dame is a former volleyball player. Izzy Dame stands at 5 feet 10 inches. Izzy Dame comes from a volleyball background, and she's one of the youngest wrestlers in NXT at 24. Dame made her WWE in-ring debut on an episode of NXT Level up in July 2023, but lost to Danny Palmer. Dame began an alliance alongside Kiana James, and Dame finally picked up her first singles victory in NXT when she saw off Gigi Dolan. Dame stands at 5 feet 10 inches, and with James moving to Raw, it will be interesting to see how Dame will cope without James. Ava is impressing as the general manager of NXT. Ava stands at 5'10". Ava is a fourth-generation wrestler, as she is The Rock's daughter, Rocky Johnson's granddaughter, and High Chief Peter Maivia's great-granddaughter. Ava has tons of pressure on her shoulders to succeed in the squared circle. However, in the early stages of her career, she had a knee injury to contend with. Ava had her in-ring WWE debut at NXT Stand and delivered 2023, and it was a losing effort. Nevertheless, she became the general manager of NXT in January 2024, and she is excelling in that role. Ava is 22, and the future looks bright for The Rock's daughter. 14. Velvet McIntyre had one of the shortest WWE Women's Championship reigns in history. Velvet McIntyre stands at 5 feet 10 inches. Velvet McIntyre stands in at 5 feet 10 inches tall, yet she had one of the shortest WWE Women's Championship reigns in history. She held the title for 6 days in 1986, as she beat the fabulous Moolah for the prestigious title, but she dropped the gold back to Moolah in Sydney, Australia. McIntyre's Women's Championship reign wasn't memorable, but she was a 2-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion in her own right. Moreover, McIntyre was famous for wrestling barefoot, and she was involved in a Women's Championship match with Moolah at WrestleMania 2. 13. Michelle McCool is one of the most underrated female wrestlers in WWE history. Michelle McCool stands at 5 feet 10 inches. Former Diva Search contestant Michelle McCool is 5 foot minus 10. The Palatka, Florida native signed with WWE back in 2004 and worked there up until 2011. Throughout her career, she managed to capture a version of the WWE Women's Championship on 4 separate occasions. Fans will no doubt remember her stint as a member of Laycool, along with her former tag team partner Layla. While no longer a full-time competitor, McCool still wrestles on occasion, and she performed in multiple Women's Royal Rumble matches. The retired former champ is also married to a very well-known professional wrestler, The Undertaker. 12. Alundra Blaze dominated women's wrestling in the New Generation era. Alundra Blaze stands at 5 feet 10 inches. Back in 1993, WWE signed 5'10" Alundra Blaze to help revitalize the women's division. During her time with the company, she is best remembered for her feuds with wrestlers like Bull Nakano and Bertha Faye. She was released from the company in 1995 due to financial difficulties. Following her release, Blaze would sign with WCW and throw the WWE Women's Championship in the trash can in what would turn out to be the most memorable act of her career. Blaze was blacklisted from WWE for years following the now infamous trash can incident. However, in 2015, WWE decided to let bygones be bygones and allowed Blaze to enter the Hall of Fame. 11. Charlotte Flair is a record-breaking 14-time WWE Women's Champion. Charlotte Flair stands at 5 feet 10 inches. One of the handful of 5'10" stars is none other than Charlotte Flair. The daughter of the legendary Nature Boy Ric Flair looks poised to join her father in the WWE Hall of Fame. At 38 years of age, she is already a 14-time WWE Women's Champion. She continued her history-making ways in April 2019 by becoming one of the first women to headline WrestleMania, along with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. Before becoming one of pro wrestling's top stars, Flair was an outstanding volleyball player who excelled at both the high school and college levels. 10. Chyna towered over her opponents in the women's division. Chyna stands at 5 feet 10 inches. Though she often appeared taller, Chyna was billed as being 5 foot minus 10. She performed in WWE from 1997 until 2001. Known as the Ninth Wonder of the World, Chyna made history by becoming the first and so far only woman to hold the Intercontinental Championship, and she won the WWE Women's Championship once in 2001. She was also the first female to enter the Men's Royal Rumble match. The former D-Generation X star also holds victories over top male stars like Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Jeff Jarrett. She would go on to leave the company in 2001. Chyna would struggle with personal issues following her departure from WWE, which were chronicled on several different reality shows. She passed away in 2016 and was posthumously inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as a member of DX in April 2019. 9. Jade Cargill isn't in WWE to make up the numbers. Jade Cargill stands at 5 feet 10 inches. Jade Cargill was the longest reigning AEW TBS champion. and she left AEW to join WWE in 2023, where she reported to the Performance Center. Cargill made her long-awaited in-ring debut in the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble match and received huge cheers from the WWE Universe. Cargill stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall, and she is one of the tallest women on the main roster. Cargill has had interactions with the likes of Damage CTRL backstage on SmackDown. She sided with Bianca Belair and Naomi, and they defeated Damage CTRL's Dakota Kai. And the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors Asuka and Kairi Sane, in a 6-woman tag team match at WrestleMania 40. A month later, Cargill won her first piece of silverware as she combined with Belair to defeat the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship at Backlash France. Tori had one of the best physiques in the Attitude Era. Tori stands at 5 feet 11 inches. Not to be confused with WWE Hall of Famer Tori Wilson. Tori Terry Potch was also a female wrestler during the Attitude Era, and a tall one. While commentators rarely mentioned her height, she was billed as being 5'11", making her one of the tallest women the company has ever employed. She was famously involved in a feud with Sable in the late 90s. Tori was also a member of D-Generation X and Kane's on-screen girlfriend. The former DX member was released from the company in 2001. Tori would retire from wrestling soon after her release and was last seen running a yoga studio in Portland. 7. Stacy Keibler never won the WWE Women's Championship. Stacy Keibler stands at 5 feet 11 inches. Retired wrestler and valet Stacy Keibler is just an inch shy of being 6 feet tall. She first debuted back in 1999 as a member of a dance troupe known as the Nitro Girls in WCW. She would go on to become a valet known as Miss Hancock and would stay with WCW until they were bought out by WWE in 2001. Keibler would stay with World Wrestling Entertainment for the remainder of her wrestling career, managing acts like the Dudley Boys and occasionally wrestling, before calling it quits in 2006. Keibler would go on to appear on the reality television show Dancing with the Stars and date actor George Clooney. Keibler was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2023 by fellow Hall of Famer Tori Wilson. 6. Karma's WWE career didn't go according to plan. Karma stands at 5 feet 11 inches. Standing at 5 foot minus 11, Karma is one of the tallest ladies to work for WWE. Though she was technically under contract with the company from 2010 to 2013, she only officially wrestled in one match, the 2012 Royal Rumble. She was on pregnancy leave for a good portion of her time with the company and was granted her release in 2013. Though she did wrestle for WWE, Karma had far more success in TNA wrestling, both before and after her time there. She is a 2-time TNA Knockouts champion while performing under the ring name Awesome Kong. She recently made a surprise appearance at AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view event. 5. Linda Miles had more success as a manager. Linda Miles stands at 6 feet 0 inches. Linda Miles, also known as Shaniqua, is a name wrestling fans don't hear very often these days. The 6-foot-tall performer was the co-winner of the second season of WWE Tough Enough, along with Jackie Gata, which is how she earned her contract with WWE. She worked for WWE from 2002 to 2004 as both a wrestler and a manager. She never really caught on as a performer, and is perhaps best remembered for managing the Basham brothers. Miles was ultimately released from her contract in early 2004. 4. Lash Legend has interacted with Trick Williams. Lash Legend stands at 6 feet 0 inches. Lash Legend is one of the tallest female wrestlers in WWE history, standing at 6 feet 0 inches. Legend won her first match on the December 10, 2021 taping of NXT Level Up. Legend is a member of the Metaphor faction alongside Noam Dar, Oro Mensah, and Jakara Jackson. Legend had the biggest match of her career on the February 20, 2024 taping of NXT as she replaced an injured Shotzi and challenged Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. Legend failed to win the title, and she kissed Trick Williams on the March 12, 2024 edition of NXT. The former Tough Enough winner retired from pro wrestling shortly after being released from WWE. Since that time, the now 45-year-old has worked as a substitute teacher and a basketball referee. 3. Nia Jax has been on a rampage since returning to WWE. Nia Jax stands at 6 feet 0 inches. Billed at an even 6 feet tall, Nia Jax is tied for the third tallest female wrestler in WWE history. She is a former WWE Raw Women's Champion who signed with WWE back in 2014. Nia Jax is a member of the Anoa'i wrestling family, which features stars like Yokozuna, Roman Reigns, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. She is Rock's second cousin. Before becoming a professional wrestler, the 39-year-old superstar previously worked as a plus-size model and played basketball for Palomar College. Nia Jax was a surprising release in November 2021, considering she's a member of the Anoa'i family. Jax is a former Raw Women's Champion, and she won the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship twice with Shayna Baszler. The Irresistible Force returned to WWE in the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match for a one-time deal, but she made her full-time return to the company in September 2023. For the first time in her WWE career, Jax was drafted to SmackDown in the 2024 Draft Lottery, and at the time of writing, she's in the semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament, where she'll face Bianca Belair for a place in the final at King and Queen of the Ring. 2. Raquel Rodriguez is currently inactive with mast cell activation syndrome. Raquel Rodriguez stands at 6 feet 1 inch. Raquel Rodriguez is one of the tallest women in WWE history. She stands at 6 feet and 1 inch tall. Traditionally, WWE likes taller athletes, and Raquel is an exceptional in-ring competitor. Raquel has a good resume, as she is a former NXT Women's Champion and a two-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champion with Dakota Kai. On the main roster, Raquel has won the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship 3 times, as she won the title once with Aaliyah and twice with Liv Morgan. Raquel has yet to win a singles championship on the main roster, and she is more than capable of getting her hands on the WWE Women's Championship or the Women's World Championship before she retires. 1. Nicole Bass had a brief run in the Attitude Era. Nicole Bass stands at 6 feet 2 inches. At 6 foot 2, Nicole Bass has the distinction of being the tallest female performer in WWE history. Bass had a brief stint with the company back in 1999. During her time in WWE, she is arguably best remembered for being Sable's bodyguard at WrestleMania 15. The tall powerhouse was also featured in a feud with Deborah McMichael. Before her WWE run, the former bodybuilder appeared in ECW for a short time back in 1998.